Once upon a time, in a faraway village, there lived a young boy called Obie. Obie was a poor child who lost both his parents
iLifeNG.com.
when he was still very little. Then his grandmother, being his only surviving family, took him in and started taking care of him. But death also came and took his grandmother away from him. All he had left was the flute which he inherited from his father. The magic flute was passed down from generations. Years later, Obi became the best flutist in the entire village. One night, Obi was feeling very lonely and sad, so he decided to go to the stream to cry his heart out and then to play his flute, which was his only companion to console himself. Few minutes after he started playing his flute, he heard a rustling sound in the bushes close to him, as if someone was trying to find his or her way in the bush. He rushed to check what was making the sound in the bush to see if the person needed help or if the person was in trouble. But lo and behold, it was a young, slender, and beautiful girl. At first, he wondered what such a young girl was doing in the bush at that time of the night.
iLifeNG.com.
But she opened up to him and explained to him that she was trying to run away from home, as her father was trying to marry her off and she wasn't ready to. She then heard the sound of his flute and decided to find out who was playing the sound, as she had never heard such a beautiful sound in her life before. She begged him to play him more, which Obi agreed to. In a short time, they were already laughing, talking, and relating with each other as if they have known themselves for many years. Obi encouraged the young girl to go back home and try to make her father see reasons with her. Since it was late at night, he volunteered to escort her home, and that was when he realized that she was the princess. Obi started playing his flute close to the palace where the princess could hear him, as the king never allowed the princess to leave the palace. Sometimes he risked his life by sneaking into the palace to see the princess just to make sure that she was doing okay. Gradually, they fell deeper and deeper in love. The princess suggested they should run away and
iLifeNG.com.
start life afresh somewhere else, but Obi did not agree with the idea because the princess was the king's only daughter. Few weeks later, the king officially announced that it was time for
iLifeNG.com.
his daughter to get married. So he sent words to his fellow kings far and wide to come with their most suitable son. Every day, many kings, chiefs, and notable men trooped into the king's palace to seek the princess's hand in marriage. But the king rejected each and every one of them for reasons like they were not wealthy enough to marry his only daughter. Obi did not even have any chance, as the king's guards threw him out of the palace the moment he made his intention known, as the king had already declared that any commoner who dares come before him for his daughter's hand in marriage will be put to death. Kings and chiefs kept coming from far and wide, but the king kept on rejecting them one after the other. Word spread out all over the region of how the king was being too picky on who will be his daughter's husband. Even the spirits in the evil forest heard about this, and one of them decided to try his luck. He took a form of human form and disguised himself as a human. Then he came with a very long convoy carrying servants, livestock, royal clothes,
iLifeNG.com.
food items that could last the whole village several months. The king was really impressed by his display of wealth and royalty, so he accepted him to be his befitting son in law. The needful was done, and the king and villagers bade the princess goodbye as she journeyed with her husband to her new home. But 3 days after the unknown son in law left with the princess, something terrible happened. The entire village woke up that morning to realize that all the gifts he gave them had rotted away into dirt. The servants he gifted the king had all disappeared, including the numerous livestock. This was more than enough to tell the king that the princess was in a very great danger. He became extremely worried and quickly consulted the oracle. The oracle made it known to him that the son in law was a spirit from the evil forest and that the princess would die in 7 days' time if she was not rescued on time. The oracle also revealed that only Obie's magic flute can save the princess, and that
iLiveMP3.com.
anyone else who dared venture into the evil forest to retrieve the princess apart from Obie might die. The king begged Obie to please save his only daughter, which he quickly agreed to, and went into the evil forest playing his magic flute. Any spirit who heard the sound of his flute fell into a very deep sleep, so he was able to rescue the princess. After the celebration of the princess's return, the king agreed to allow Obie and the princess get married. He even organized a very glamorous royal wedding for them, after which they lived happily ever after.